Cloverdale is getting an entertainment district with the recent upgrades to its town center plan. That's the new news coming out here, hot off the press here for the Cloverdale Reporter. We're just going to go over that report, what that exactly means, and take a look at the Cloverdale Town Center plan. So the original town center plan was just this area here, more downtown historic Cloverdale, 60th just to below Highway 10 there, 180th to 172. And that's what the original Cloverdale Town Center plan was. They added the fairgrounds and they added a little bit of stuff just west of 176 as well. So we're going to take a quick look at this 175-page small document from the City of Surrey and just go over some of the things that jumped out at me. The Cloverdale Centre has been growing at about a rate of 0.6 per year, which is less than the Surrey's overall growth rate of 3% per year. We all know Surrey wants to be the biggest city in the next decade here in the Lower Mainland. And growing at a 3% rate, it certainly should be able to achieve that, given that it's growing faster than any other city in the Lower Mainland. But I've always said, though, because Cloverdale is situated outside of where they want to do a lot of their development, be it in the Fleetwood area, in the Clayton area, in the Grandview area, in the Fleetwood Tynehead area, and in the city center area, there is going to be a lot less growth in the Cloverdale area. And that's kind of why I've said it's always a great place to move, because you're not going to see as much of that change that some people do really vocally speak out about. And we're going to do the vision statement as it's been put out in this report here. Cloverdale Town Centre is the historic heart of the city, entire city, I guess. It is a distinctive, thriving center for commercial, social, cultural, and recreational activities. It is a pedestrian-friendly neighborhood with a variety of housing types and local businesses that celebrates its heritage and embraces its role as a regional destination. And although Cloverdale does have a lot of businesses, nice and very walkable, for some reason or another, we are saturated with hair salons and barbershops. Just something I wanted to point out here. This is all the hair salons and barbershops that we have in the downtown core there, as you can see. So the public response to the initial draft concept was mixed, although generally supportive. There was concerns about increased traffic congestion. Of course, the NIMBYs are always going to talk about the dangers of making their community a better place, in my opinion. And the funny one that I figured here is because there really isn't a lot of single-family areas in the actual plan itself, and we can go over that. But the desire for those NIMBYs to maintain the single-family neighborhoods. I mean, I think if you're living closer to a city center like this, maybe not as much for Cloverdale versus other places like Fleetwood and Clayton, but if you're living closer to a city center like this, you can expect that neighborhood to change dramatically over the next decade due to density purposes. Now, some density projections. What are we going to see in the next 30 years? And again, this is the 30-year projection, not exactly a short-term thing. The existing housing stock that we have right now is 2,250 units and a population of 5,126 residents. This is just in that downtown core here. And then it is expected to rise, again, within 30 years, 3,800 units and 7,655 residents. They have the build-out capacity to maybe get to 13,000 residents, but we'll see how that goes. And again, all these numbers were projected prior to the BC NDP forcing everybody to build much more density on every single lot in the Lower Mainland. Okay, so here's the original town center plan here, and it's just going over, it's labeling all of these things. We're going to enhance the character of this green area in the downtown core, kind of where it's most walkable. We're going to support the businesses throughout there where the other commercial spaces are, but not necessarily, shopping and everything. Actually, no, that would be shopping because there's Highway 10 there too. So that would be the shopping areas closest to 176 there. Maybe just revitalizing them because some of those buildings are getting pretty old there. We are then going to attract some more residents in this density area as usual around that core, making it a little bit more dense and building up those 6-story buildings there. There's a couple coming out right now, and then provide a transition out into the peripheries. And lastly, in this plan, I want to go over where they are going to be adding a new road. I've talked about this before in some videos here, but you can see that they want to extend 172, so you'd be crossing 172 across Highway 10 and taking this James Hill Drive Road, and we're probably going to be calling this the Cloverdale bypass, basically, going from 172 all the way to would be 180th at the bottom there. And then continuing on into the commercial areas beside that. No plan exactly when this is going to be, but a plan at least in this release here in 2019. So where are we at right now with everything? We're still exploring some options, I guess you can call it, trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do, get some community engagement. If you are in the community, you should be coming out to those. I'm going to try to make an effort to make it to those as well, so I hope to see you there. And in the winter, we are going to be obviously developing and planning some more. And then hopefully by the spring of 2025, we have a complete and updated plan. Unfortunately, I baited you here, and we do not have any information on what that entertainment district is going to be. What they're saying is the expanded borders. The city is planning an entertainment district for the famous country fair and rodeo grounds. What does that exactly mean? Are they going to be upgrading the Bill Reed Amphitheater to make that something a lot more? It seems like it's getting used a lot more than what it was 5, 6, 7 years ago, which is great. It brings a lot of people into the community, and I think it's great because I am within walking distance of that as well. But we'll see what that does bring ahead for us in the near future here. So lastly, before I leave, I want to say and highlight the fact that they did change some of the zoning here for the residential areas just west of 176 as well. So that could bring in some more density in those areas. We could see some more land assemblies and developments in those specific areas. Although some of these houses are a little bit newer than the older ones surrounding the Cloverdale ballpark. So it's interesting that they chose this given that there is some newer developments in these specific areas alongside there. We are starting to see some townhome development proposals in this older part of the single-family residential area. Lastly, I mean, there is a lot of space in between 60th and 64th here. They got the casino, they got the racetrack. There's a lot of room for a lot of change. So it should be interesting to see what comes out from the city as they slowly release this and tempt us with maybe some big things here coming to Cloverdale.